Who will the voters send to Charleston? I'm Jessica Haberley in Brooke County watching the races. We've got Yost versus Weld for the Senate, DeCirio versus DeCiccio for the House. Here's where the story takes a frightening turn as the officer followed the vehicle down this hill. A school bus was directly in their path, letting kids off for the day. There are orange numbers spray painted all along the hillside, and they represent different things. For example, this 82 marks a location on the project, while this number, 835, is the elevation above sea level.
We know children are watching as their parents and loved ones abuse drugs and even overdose. For this special assignment, we wanted to learn more about what's happening to those families and to those kids, the children of heroin.
5, 6, 7, 8, between 8 and 10 paces away. And this tree, as you can see, obstructs the view of that stop sign as the drivers are approaching.
Fireworks Supermarket in Triadelphia is just packed, as you can see, as people stock up for the 4th of July. A change of heart seems like the best way to describe it. Wayne Everly Jr. was on trial for 2 counts of aggravated murder, and the trial could have lasted all week. But after seeing the witnesses and hearing just a small part of the evidence this first day, Everly's attorney said that his client's remorse was building. That fence behind us, each post is about 10 feet apart, which means the entire thing is well over 100 feet wide. You can really start to understand Laureen McGuire's passion for stuffed animals when you look around this room inside her home. Good evening, everyone. I'm at the intersection of North 4th and Ross in Steubenville. This is the intersection where that accident happened this morning. So as I was standing right here on the corner, several people approached me. Their concern was about this stop sign. It's the one that officials say a driver ran before becoming involved in the accident. Well, it's really only several paces away from this tree. 5, 6, 7, 8, between 8 and 10 paces away. And this tree, as you can see, obstructs the view of that stop sign as the drivers are approaching. To give you a driver's eye view, or at least a passenger's eye view, we drove down the street earlier. Our photographer hopped in the passenger seat as I drove. And yes, there is that tree, and it blocks that sign until the very end. And that's why residents and people who work in this community are concerned. They say by the time you see that stop sign, it's too late, especially if you're not expecting it. We took their concerns to City Manager James Mavromatis.
As I approached that intersection, I could see the redness of the stop sign coming through the foliage, but there's still clear enough distance there that I saw the stop sign once I passed the tree.
And Mavromatis urged everyone to drive safely and said if you are being cautious when approaching intersections, you should be able to see that stop sign in plenty of time. But people who live nearby and again work nearby said they've seen way too many people just blow through that stop sign, and they're really worried about when another accident may happen. Mavromatis said he would look into this a little more deeply to determine if this tree is in fact a hazard. Reporting live in Steubenville, Jessica Haberley, News 9 at 6.
You are watching News 9 Saturday morning with Jessica Haberley.
And more than 1,000 people lost power last night around Belmont County. Power went out around 9:30 p.m., didn't come back on until 1 a.m. The county's 911 center also lost power and had to rely on a backup generator. AEP says one of its substations powering the area went offline. A suspicious package found at the front door of Citizens Bank in Bridgeport has been deemed safe.
Yeah, this after a tense investigation that began around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. News 9's Brittany Grego has been following the story and has the details.
A former Franciscan University student has been sentenced in San Diego to nearly 16 years in prison for trying to adopt or purchase infants from Mexico to sexually molest them. Heads up for drivers heading to the mall in Steubenville. A new road project will close a road near the Fort Steuben Mall. But with only one new major release headed to theaters this weekend, Disney's Moana is all but guaranteed to hold on to the top of the box office.
And reporter Rick DeMiguela has a preview.
12-year-old Gabby Sunyoger is controlling the sounds coming from the piano. Each keystroke is intentional. What she can't control is a different sound, one that comes from her own throat.
And this is what my tick sounds like.
Gabby has Tourette syndrome, a condition of the nervous system that causes a person to produce involuntary movements or noises. Her motor tics started in 2nd grade.
It was easy for her at first because it was a nonverbal tick. So it was like an eye roll or a nose scrunch. You want to do your nose scrunch? Or little things like that, that really went unnoticed and didn't cause her too much stress or issues.
But everything changed in 5th grade when Gabby developed a verbal tic. The first sign of it came during a trip to the Carnegie Museum of Natural History in Pittsburgh.
I looked at a humongous Tyrannosaurus Rex and I went, oh! And then after that, it was like continuing.
A great deal of stress and anxiety went along with the new tic.
And I was so nervous that I prayed and prayed and prayed every night that I wouldn't have to go to school this year with it.
Gabby's dealt with bullies and people who don't understand Tourette syndrome, both at school and in public places. Once at the movies, a teenager repeatedly mocked Gabby by imitating the tic.
My heart just broke for her, knowing that she has to go through this every day of her life.
But you have to go through something too.
Gabby's right. Her mom, Brandy Damewood, and the rest of their family, they're all going through it together.
I've learned that by accepting it, embracing it, is so much easier than trying to repress it and trying to pretend that it's not a tic or Tourette's.
They've enlisted the help of a licensed professional counselor who teaches Gabby coping and distraction methods.
She has so much potential and she's so fun to work with. She really tries to embody the things that she's learning and take those home and use them. Her family is super engaged and supportive, and that makes a lot of difference as well.
Gabby is quick to credit her friends for their support too. Another thing that helps is an anti-anxiety medication.
No medication will take it away 100%. But what we can do is help her to learn to love herself no matter what and to cope with it.
So just as Gabby practices the piano, she'll continue to practice coping. And as she spreads awareness, she proves when you have Tourette syndrome, there are no limits.